Welcome back to this week's episode of Be Bolder. Over the last couple of weeks, we've really focused in on the let it hurt, let it suck, and then eventually we're going to transition today into letting it go. But as part of those, like letting it hurt, knowing you need to make a change, letting it suck, sometimes we got to put ourselves through a little bit of pain if we want to achieve something new, something great, something different. If it was easy, everybody would do it and it would be done for us already, right? So we have to make a lot of micro sacrifices every single day to achieve the things that we really, really want to achieve. But today we're going to start to transition a little bit into letting it go. And no, I'm not going to sing it, at least not right now. I'm going to withhold that extreme urge. But, we're going to talk about letting it go in the context of letting go of the things that hold us back each and every day as we're starting to roll forward into our new lives, but we're still kind of like stuck in the messy bits and shitty things that maybe happened before. And even if we're quote unquote over them, if we're still holding on to them, be it, a work situation, a relationship situation, whatever it's going to be, we're not going to be able to focus all of our energies on the new thing that we're thinking about doing ever so boldly. So let's talk a little bit about that today. Great. So letting it go. I think it is incredibly easy, sort of easy, to say sometimes that we are over something or we've worked through something or we're no longer mad at something. But then maybe someone brings something up with regards to an old work environment, an old friendship, an old relationship, and all of a sudden you find yourself sort of saying some things that are a little chippy, focusing some energies on some comments that maybe aren't, although maybe cathartic in the moment, not super helpful overall. And what that's really saying to us a lot of times is that we're still holding on to this thing and we haven't totally let it go. And we need to let the garbage go because it's already served us, right? It's already taught us the lesson that it needed to teach us, be it teaching us like, hey, this work environment isn't working for me. Hey, I want to start a startup. Hey, I learned this thing that was wrong at that company, so I'm going to start something new and something great. Hey, this human being was not the person that I want to be with, whatever it's going to be, right? So we've worked through that, but then we forget that it's okay to say thank you to it and send it off to do whatever it needs to do. We don't need to sit there and hold on to it. Sometimes people say forgive, but don't forget. Like, yeah, you've learned lessons, but you've also changed your patterns and you've changed your behaviors. So now why are you holding on to this thing that's just taking up space for you in your life and in your mindset? So you can't put other things in its place, right? Because one of the things that I came to realize not that long ago is that we can't make space unless we let the things that we need to let go. Okay, so if we want to start a new business, we want to spend a bunch of time focusing our energies on A or B or C. We need to get rid of some of the junk that we've been holding on to, that whether or not we realize it, we are still subconsciously applying effort to, even if it's just ever so subtly. And you pick that up when someone brings something up about those old environments, those old humans, those old friendships, whatever it's going to be, and you get triggered. Well, if you're triggered, that means you still got something going on there. Okay. And so, what we need to do is really need to focus on saying, okay, I did the work, right? I let it hurt. I let it suck. I put in my time, whatever it's going to be. And now it's time for me to just say, let it go. And if you don't trust me on this, I'm going to break it down for you in an even simpler way. Okay. If you are functioning at max capacity each and every day in your startup, plus your family relationship, plus your friendships, plus maybe you're going to school or whatever it's going to be that you're doing. And all of those things are happening each and every day in your life. They make your life very, very full, but they also make your heart and your mindset very, very full. Okay. And so you can only function so much effort and energy and thought on all of those things each and every day. And if one of the things that you're saying to yourself is, hey, I want to spend more time on my business. I want to spend more time on the sales pipeline. I want to spend more time with my partner, whatever that's going to be. If you don't have the time because you're still wasting even micro amounts of energy, which combine and compound into ultimately a large portion of energy, you're not going to be able to do it successfully. Okay. And so I'm going to take it one step further. If you are not getting rid of the junk so you can let the good stuff in, I'll break it down in terms of dollars and cents. If you are functioning in your business and you're growing that thing each and every day, but you've got a little piece of you that's still fixated or focused on something else, even if it's not a ton of your time every day, even if it's 5 minutes of your day every day for a week, let's call it 35 minutes a week. And then we're going to multiply that over 52 weeks. You've now just lost a lot of time that you could have been spending on your business, growing pipeline, focusing on new sales pipeline model, business model, whatever it's going to be. But instead, you're wasting that energy off doing something else. And if we really want to get crazy with it and think about it, if you're spending some of that energy because ultimately what that means is your home base, your you is not totally solid and perfect, it's basically causing like minor little ripple effects in your day-to-day life. And so, okay, that's happening in your home life or your family life. And then we radiate that out into the next circle of our lives, which is ultimately usually our business life. And those ripples start to look a little bigger. Right. And so as you go out and out and out, the ripples get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the impact is ultimately causing much more headache and heartache and ultimately harm than we think that it is. And so what I will challenge you to say is that if you're wasting time on the garbage, albeit little or small or seemingly, just a few minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, that 5 minutes a day is going to compound. And now you are having this ripple effect in your business where you're not able to think clearly in totality as your individual self, which radiates out into your business, which means ultimately your business isn't performing as well as it could, which ultimately means you, and if you have investors, are not doing as well as they could. So I would argue that you have a responsibility to let that shit go. It doesn't matter anymore. It served you already. Okay, yes, sure, you were hurting. And sure, maybe it would feel great to I don't know, people get revenge or whatever they do. I don't know. But maybe it would feel great if you did that. But why? Why waste the time and the energy? The most wonderful, amazing, perfect thing that you can do for you is be successful and happy in your personal life, in your business life, with your friends, with your family, whoever that's going to be. But you can't be fully happy unless you let the shit go. So I challenge you to think about the things that are maybe cluttering your life, even if they're things that you give micro thoughts to each and every day. And figure out how to say thank you to those things for the lessons that they taught you. Figure out how to say, thank you for the opportunities that you've created for me, because oftentimes those hard lessons are the things that inspire us to our next great, amazing thing. And then you just have to say, I release you to go serve who you need to go serve next. So with that, we've let it hurt. We've let some stuff suck. And now we're progressing into letting it go. Because if we don't let it go, we can't be our best, biggest, brightest, boldest self that we can possibly be. So with that, short, sweet, to the point type of episode this week. But next week, we're joined by a guest who, has had several career shifts and changes, which ultimately means lots of letting go, and has also had some pretty big losses in their life. And that is a whole different bucket of trying to let go of some of that hurt, guilt, grief, and pain. So anyway, as always, thanks for joining and listening in, or watching if you so choose. And don't forget, don't just be bold, be bolder.